Hello friends, welcome to Symbaroum. This is a TTRPG system and setting created by Free League Publishing. It is dark fantasy, spooky things in the forest, cursed ruins, ancient civilization that it has since passed. And we welcome you here today. Sorry it took so long to get started. We were trying to discuss on where eggs fit on the food pyramid, and now we're here. Kevin, please take it away.
If you have thoughts on that issue, be sure to tweet them at Stella Luna.
Yes.
Maybe TTV. I don't know what your handle is.
That is not
worst
my Twitter.
plug ever.
I was trying to boost your social media presence a little there.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of which, did you tweet out?
I did. Please, hello friends, if you want to help us boost the signal, there's a link in chat.
See, Kevin, that's how you plug.
Yeah, tweet your egg thoughts at Stella Luna _TV.
Thank
Which is
you.
definitely what I said the first time. Anyway. Yeah, so the scene opens kind of in the twilight, sort of the onset of dusk, in a pretty relatively narrow passage through the woods, and your party is currently hunkered down in the ruins of a tower. It only rises some 7 or 8 feet off the ground, but it does provide shelter from the surrounding area. This is where you fought the Ogre from last session and came out not unscathed but unkilled, which is good. You're sort of recuperating right now.
Yeah, I remember you let Kory's pet get stabbed a lot.
It was rude.
Yes. We discovered that Grotto is not in fact completely impervious to all forms of damage, which was a going theory from any previous engagements. But yeah, so if you guys want to have any interactions or do anything in the evening before you rest, I think the next sort of item on the docket was basically just going to sleep.
Oh fuck, that's right. I wanted to talk to Kory.
My outsides hurt. We had an awful fight. Good work on not dying.
Who is this to?
I don't remember my accent.
It changes.
Really
It's
haughty,
Tyrant.
likes to eat a lot, thinks she's better than you.
Listen, my
That-
characters keep dying and I keep forgetting who I'm playing. Arygo is totally talking to Grotto the Biogorn bear.
Dati goes into her pack and starts fishing out a good portion of their medical supplies. And she puts 2 down in the direction of Chorus and Arygo and pulls out 2 and first begins tending to herself. And next we'll start working on Grotto, taking us from 12 herbal cures down to 10 herbal cures down to 6 herbal cures.
Chorus isn't going to use his.
Chorus does not use his?
He
Okay.
pockets it.
Arygo sits down on a flat stone and she definitely manspreads and she holds up the herbal cure in her hand and she leans forward, rests her elbow on her knee, and she says, "Chorus, can you come help me?"
Just this is essentially a creaking noise as his head slowly turns towards you. Help you with what?
I've got wounds and I can't reach them.
Weren't you exclusively hitting the front?
Is that literally what he's saying?
Yes.
Alright, I will add bad bedside manner to the long list of your character flaws. And she'll just start applying herbal cure to herself then.
And how does a 1 hit point Badger Bear feel?
2 hit point Badger Bear once Dati is done tending to Grotto's wounds. And there's lots of... You know, have you ever seen like a video of a tiger going through dentistry?
What?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you should look it up because, like, the tiger is going through dentistry, and the tiger is like, "I'm going to tear out your throat," and the dentist is like, "Oh, you're such a baby. It's fine." And the tiger's like, "Look at all of my mighty teeth," and the dentist is like, "And look at this dude." And the tiger's like, "Yeah, okay. I guess I wasn't really that mad, and I feel a lot better." And then there's lots of licks. That's kind of what Grotto is going through, in that there are mighty roars and complaints as Dati does what she can for the angry Badger Bear's ailments, but can only do so much. And at the end of it, Grotto is a much more quiet, whiny Badger Bear that doesn't feel very well, but is no longer presumably threatening to eat your guts.
Adorable.
Had it previously been threatening to eat our guts?
Well,
When
only
Dati
during
was trying to apply
yeah,
the cure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only during the medicinal process. Yes.
Hmm. And also when you were jamming your hand down Dottie's throat, got close.
Yeah. There was a period
Hmm.
where it's really fortunate that the mind possessing thing is also the throat.
Makes it so you can't talk thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're dead. That was a 2-for-1 special, and it was very dangerous and scary. But
And then the fact that we wouldn't have even been able to attack you, you would just been like, no, stop.
All right. Well, I will have the first watch.
What?
My eyes.
You two are barely standing. Go to sleep.
Okay. Araga just
Dati,
unrolls. Sorry, go ahead.
Dati actually is fine. But yes, Uraga is agreeing. Okay.
And she unrolls her bedroll, which is probably like
Huge.
huge, and it's like probably like a bear pelt kind of fancy kill kind of thing. And she rolls it out, stretches out like a lioness, and curls up on her furs. And then she's snoring very, 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 very loudly.
Oh, God, I thought we got rid of this.
Dati is actually quite fine. She didn't take any hits during the last fight, as is her wont. So she's gonna, just start going through her supplies and tell Chorus, "You should rest first. I handle first watch as a rule."
Seeing the behemoth now slumbering, Chorus will head over and stand next to Dottie. We're getting
Yes.
close. Shut up, Stella.
Where's my popcorn?
It's certainly not ideal.
What are you gonna do once we get there?
See if there's anyone waiting that can supply us and direct us to the next task.
He pauses for a moment, glances over at Araga, and then looks back to Dottie. And if someone is there, what are you gonna tell them?
What has happened?
The tone in his voice implies the missing member.
She died. We all do. We tended to her remains, collected what effects of hers she did not need, and must move on.
His eyes will narrow a small bit as he stares at Dati. And how are you holding up with all that?
Poorly.
His general body language will soften a bit. Well, at least there's no end of distractions in Davokar.
That is true.
And then he'll walk away and go set up his sleeping bag. Sleeping well. On the other end of camp from the earthquake.
Is there, I suppose the tower probably may not even have been a tower, but is there a set of steps, perhaps, a way to get a higher vantage point for watching?
Yeah, so for the most part, it's just a circular frame of a building, but there is a set of kind of spiral stairs around the perimeter of the on the inside of the perimeter of the building. You can take a few of the steps. They're in poor condition, but they're stone, so there's still quite a bit of remnant there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get up maybe to look over the edge of the wall. Even then, you're only standing, about 7 feet high, and or lower if you just kind of walk up to the edge and then peek over. So it's not a great vantage, but it is a vantage.
I think Dottie will take most of her watch there, if that kind of covers the entrances, if not all the approaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she needs a good location to puff her dream stuff.
She'll definitely not be off the ground level when she's doing that.
Yeah. Well, there certainly isn't a way to truly get off the ground level in here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that I think is where she'll take the first one.
Sleep time. It's sleep time.
And nothing interesting happens. And it's dawn.
What is Arygo dreaming about?
Ooh,
What boring dream is she having since nothing interesting happened?
Let's see how fucking difficult I want to make this for myself. Oh, roll 20, please. Roll 20.
No, don't roll a 20.
Okay. She is having one of those dreams where nothing really that interesting happens, right? It's just like an ordinary day, and you're just kind of going through your village, and you're eating a lot, and arm wrestling people, and sharpening your sword, and you think about all the monsters you've slain, and all the money you've made and spent. And it's a nice sunny day, and the wind is going through the trees, and it's just a pretty pleasant dream.
Nice. And then the DM tells us we die in our sleep.
No, you are perfectly safe throughout the course of sleep. So the next morning you can wake up and all recover a stat point or health point or whatever you want.
Health. Arygo wakes up with a yawn, very loud, announcing to the whole camp that she is awake now, with a stretching. And she gets up and she starts to do a few, God, Stella doesn't know sword things. Stretches? Maneuvers? Warming
Stances.
stances. She does a few stances with her greatsword.
Is it the one where she juggles it?
It's the one where
she practices throwing it at things in the air.
It's the one where she practices throwing her two-handed sword at a bug flying through the air.
And then goes to get it.
Playing fetch with herself.
No take, only throw.
Yeah.
So, as the morning passes and everyone kind of limbers up and goes through their,
Routines.
practice routines.
Chorus would look around the ruins a bit more once there's daylight.
Sure. What's he looking for?
Just scanning the general area, seeing like what kind of place this was.
Okay.
If there's any sign of
Roll vigilant. At just flat. All right, not bad. So, as far as you can tell, the ruins don't really extend very far in either direction. There's this tower. There's, I'd say a more deteriorated set of stonework kind of across this road that you've been following on the other side. And it's in too bad of a state to be sure whether it was also a tower or whether it was just a, like a wall or really anything else. But you know that something was there. And given that there aren't many other structures in the area, there is a hint of stonework here or there, but it's tricky to see whether it's from different buildings that were certainly smaller if it was, or maybe this is where part of the tower that you took shelter in actually just crumbled. But the general impression that Chorus is able to discern is that this seems as though it might have just been something like a watch station along the road to keep an eye on things.
He will make note of that to himself and not share any information.
Oh, okay.
Is he being subtle with looking around?
He's just walking around, looking at dirt and stones, just like glancing at the ground. Occasionally looking up, judging the height of things.
Towards the end of your perambulation, Araga is gonna come up to you and sling her arm over your shoulders and look down at the dirt with you, and she says, "Have you found any tracks of something that we can eat before we pack up camp?"
We're not far enough out for those kinds of tracks.
What are you doing looking at dirt?
I'm looking at civilization.
Araga squints at the ruined tower. Not much of that left here.
But it was here once. And knowing what a building could have been can let you know what other buildings might be nearby.
She looks thoughtful. And then she pulls her arm away and she gives you a hearty clap on the back.
He stumbles.
She says, "Right, I'll leave you to your dirt looking." Just kind of stomps away.
Chorus, master dirt detective.
And when she gets back towards the camp where Dati and Grotto are, Araga will say, pointing over her shoulder with a thumb, Chorus is looking at dirt over there.
Trackers often do. Dati will respond.
So how far are we traveling? Where are we going?
What is it, 4 days left?
I thought it was like 2.
We've gone 2, I thought.
Yeah, wasn't it 4 days?
I thought it was 6 days.
Damn!
Yeah, you have 4 days of travel left.
Dati will relay that we've gone a third of the way.
We have 4 days of necromages left.
Hopefully not.
We
Is there
do
anything
not.
else you want to do around this area before you set out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. Then off we go. Dati will sort of indicate the direction that Chorus ought to guide them in.
Point
And-
point out kind of landmarks to keep an eye on. I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And Chorus will guide the path
Discreetly.
discreetly at 0.
Discreetly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So not even close, right? You have another day of travel under your belt. The road rather that you've been following. Road's a generous term, but it clearly was one at one point. Sort of falls away, either buried by earth or it takes a turn that you're unable to find. But before long, you find yourself back on just the normal groundwork of the forest of Davokar, and continue on through the course of the day. You see there are occasional landmarks that Dati points out. To the north, there's a solitary peak that kind of rises from the trees deep in dark Davokar, and you're able to kind of see that from time to time when the tree cover allows. And there are other stands of trees that can prove quite dense and cut out everything else. There's a valley that spreads off to the south, but you're able to kind of just skirt along the mouth.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson about valleys.
I know he said valley, and I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, you just go right by this one. And as the day wears on, and it gets close to dusk, Chorus is able to kind of find shelter in the form of a pretty dense copse of trees, and the foliage makes it difficult to kind of find a path without making an undue amount of noise, save perhaps 2 entrances, one in the north and one on the east. That seems like a nice little spot to camp down.
I think today during our travel, Arygo will defer to Dati asking questions in a sort of haughty way, but there's definitely an underlining tone of care and curiosity, like genuine curiosity. And she basically asks like, hey, if we meet elves, what should I do and what shouldn't I do? There's definitely an air of arrogance, and it's probably pretty obvious as the conversation goes on that it's all a front. And she's just trying to seem aloof and not serious, but
She's a tsundere.
Dati's general warning is that we're not likely to see more than one elf at the most. Expect them to be masked. Don't ask them to take down their masks. And especially don't make claims as to your authority that you can't back up.
cool.
I think that's across the day the general offered advice.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What?
The perfect time for 4 bushcraft rolls.
Hey. Hell yeah. One day I'll actually add it to my freaking sheet. Vigilant, right?
Yes.
Oh god. Ah.
Oh, Dati, no.
Oh, that was Grotto.
Oh, Grotto,
Uh-oh.
no.
Grotto again.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So it's just a failure.
Okay. 4 failures, unless Oh,
I
no.
succeeded.
Chorus succeeded.
Excuse you.
Yeah, so 3 failures. Only Chorus is able to rustle up some grub for himself.
It's
no one
it's
else is.
actual grubs.
It is actual grubs. Arygo actually found the grubs first, but she was like, people don't eat these.
This isn't food.
-1 ration. You see Arygo kind of like, after failing to find anything, she just opens up her pack. She squints inside. She rummages around a little. She takes out a ration, pauses, looks at it thoughtfully, puts it back into her bag, looks over at Chorus.
He's chewing on a grub.
She reaches back into her bag and pulls out a rash. And she'll eat that.
Juicy.
Just imagining Lion King where Timon and Pumbaa are just munching, crunching on those bugs.
Essentially.
So the day comes to its end and food is being handed out, and Dati will go through the supplies and produce, instead of 4, 3 herbal cures. 1 will be presented in the direction of Arygo. 2 will be saved, 1 for herself and 1 for Grotto, and she will go through the process of changing her bandages and Grotto's bandages.
Wow, where the fuck is mine?
You didn't use yours last time.
If I still want the offer.
Arygo assumes a similar position as before, holds one out direct, like vaguely in Chorus's direction, and just gives him a raised eyebrow.
He just stares at you and then starts chewing another grub.
Arygo will roll her eyes and then take care of her own wounds herself. Fine.
You're trying, Stella.
She mutters something about bug breath as she's doing it.
Is this a Ba'Yaga thing? Dati will inquire, gesturing between the two of them before adding that you eat the grubs and she does not.
No, this is a Chorus thing.
What? There's more food than people know exists. They just gotta be ready to eat it.
Dati nods to both halves of the response. Grotto is much more receptive to the day's tending, especially given it's mostly just changing bandages instead of finding
And head
exactly.
scratches.
Yeah. Always head scratches. But yes, it's a much calmer Badger Bear response. Given it's less about fact finding which are the worst wounds and more about just soothing those. There's been lots of itching throughout the day that like begins, and then Dati will growl over at Grotto, and Grotto will whine and cease scratching at the itchy bandages. That has been a constant in between. I think the questions as to elves is just perhaps even during, Dati will just growl over at Grotto, and Grotto will whine.
Mid conversation. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you guys will be able to rest for another night, collect another point of recovery.
Excellent. Almost full health.
That is pretty rapid recovery. Nice.
Arygo will be first to clonk out and start snoring very loudly again.
Yet again, Dati will insist she takes first watch so that she can then sleep quite soundly the rest of the night, having smoked herself into unconsciousness.
Chorus
-1, dream mist.
Of course, will not try to force conversation this time.
Uh-huh. And yeah, so night passes quietly. It is a safe, secure spot. And in the morning, you are left with 3 more days of travel.
Let's see it.
This one. Okay.
Woo!
Yeah, another day of relatively quiet travel. There are tracks here and there, as the land that you're traveling on just turns a little more wild, I guess you could say. To the south, maybe the southwest, you can kind of see the silhouette of Karvosti occasionally here or there. But there isn't much traffic in this part of the forest. There are a number of kind of split hoof tracks that you cross that, as Chorus kind of pauses and investigates, look like they came from some sort of elk or elk-like creature that was heading off to the south. There might have been a few of them. But it's old enough that it's not really worth pursuing to hunt, and certainly old enough that you don't have any direct interaction with the beasts. And you continue on eastward. There's less cover here. The trees have grown a little more sparse, but it's still a pretty rich land. It's well watered, and kind of there's a little bit of dampness that hangs in the air. And as dusk begins to set on, you probably find yourselves a good camping spot, although nothing quite as secluded as the copse last night. And yeah, you can make your bushcraft rolls.
I found some berries right next to some poisonous berries.
Yeah.
Look, I was just putting a setup there in case someone rolled a 20 for Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this time everyone but Arygo is able to find some food.
Yeah, I found a very large bush of berries for most people.
It's probably at least like the cause of 5 minutes worth of delay, but Grotto discovers a warren of sorts and just starts ripping into the ground, and then comes up with something that squeals and squishes and crunches,
Oh.
and then is silent.
Most things squish and crunch.
Not all things that squish and crunch squeal before squishing and crunching.
Arygo finds a rabbit, and you see her running after this thing, just clunk, 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 clunk. And like she has like her hands outstretched in front of her trying to reach for it. And then it's gone. And then she's sad. And she just drops down. Defeated. Reaches into her bag. See her hand fishing around for a while. She pulls out a ration and just kind of watches it for a second. And then she eats it.
It's like, this food sucks.
All right. Unless there's anything else you would like to do in the evening, conversations you'd like to have, you can go ahead.
I need a conversation with Dati.
Go right ahead.
Do you still have more of your berries?
I found some roots today, Dati assures Chorus.
Will the roots, he gestures to your head. He doesn't finish a sentence.
Dati looks only confused.
All new potato brain, hee hee.
And then he takes his thumb and like gestures in a line across his forehead and vaguely like putting paint there.
Ah, those berries. I can show you how to collect them tomorrow if you'd like. And clay as well, she'll add.
What
The
is
berries are the
what is the point of your math?
Masks in multiple forms are a thing among my people. The elves were not so used to seeing human faces. So I'm more used to going about in a mask than not when among them. And when traveling abroad, it seemed only fitting that I would continue this.
Chorus crosses his arms and crosses his legs and leans against a tree. Tell me, Dati. They raised you, didn't they?
Two did. Yes.
Would you say you were happy?
Happy at times, sad at others. All children are.
Would you say you're happy now?
I make my own when I can, as Davokar's nature permits it.
He gestures a foot towards your pack. Is that what that's for? The happiness you have to make?
Did you notice how Seeker slept? She'll ask.
He nods a bit slowly.
She chose to go without. I do not.
He'll glance over at whatever Araga's doing.
I think Arygo is playing with her food. I think she's like taking a chomp out of like two
She's
pieces
sticking-
of bread or something, and she's like,
Just sticking berries into the holes of Swiss cheese.
yeah, she's like sticking her fingers in like little munchy bits, and I don't know, pretending they're like bygone bears and making noises and trying to entertain and distract Grotto,
Aw.
letting Grotto sniff her ration.
I mean, that probably just ends up with your ration not getting sniffed, but just straight licked.
Arygo wouldn't seem to mind. She would still eat it.
So, alright, so Chorus looks over there, sees you hold out a piece of bread, Grotto licks it, and then you just take a bite.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is just like a look of what? Before he turns back to Dati, trying to pretend those two don't exist. Why do you do this? Is it out of loyalty? You fight things that can only be seen in night. But for what?
If it's not done, nothing will exist. Or nothing good, at least.
And you're the one to do it?
A1.
He'll push himself off the tree, pick up his stuff, and start walking away. Just remember, everyone in life needs something more to look forward to.
Dati grunts.
Yeah,
And then
he walks
uh,
away.
goes about, I think, needlessly double checking on supplies. They're exactly as she remembered and lower than she'd like. But, you know.
And then I'm gonna goddamn kill you, Kevin.
What?
Keep
that?
flipping through my character sheet.
No, that's not me.
Who keeps randomly flipping through my character sheet?
It's not me.
I don't remember that I was doing it,
It's
but
happened like 3 times of I'm just watching other people go through all of my pages.
it
I
does
only do that in
sound
combat.
like no, it's absolutely something I would do. Like there's a reason that everybody was like, "Hey, why is there a giant symbol over every single available thing you can look at in tabletop?"
Oh god, yeah. The eye.
Because I fidget with stuff. I'm sorry.
Goris will make one quick trip over to Arygo.
Arygo hears you coming, and she scoots on her boot so that, like, her back is facing you completely.
He just stands behind you.
Arygo leans in towards Grotto, offering a piece of jerky.
Grotto was watching the approach of Chorus, but Grotto's affection and attention is easily bought and is thus bought. The jerky is licked, and if it remains there, the jerky is eaten.
Yeah, she gives the jerky, and then she's like, "Here's a good bygone bear," and she's just like giving scritches and.
Oh, yes, you ate that, Draga, no problem. Who's a good monster slayer?
Do you have the supplies to be playing right now?
She continues, deliberately ignoring Chorus.
Oh, yes, you wouldn't run from a fight. Oh, you might be one of the smallest ones out of Bayaga, but you aren't afraid to show your teeth. Oh, yes, eat that turkey.
He'll shrug and just say, "Look, it doesn't matter to me if you give it all your food. Just keep an eye on where it's been shoving its face through the whole day before you eat what it just licked." And then he walks off.
Arygo immediately stops playing with Grotto. Visually remembers the grubs and like things, and then she just resorts to like gently, just ruefully patting Grotto on the head now.
Grotto whines a little at the reduction of affection and attention, but
And of course, he'll go to sleep.
yep, okay. Another peaceful day in Davokar.
Arygo will sit up her furs over next to wherever Grotto likes to curl up. Just go and snooze next to Grotto.
Grotto is a warm snuggle buddy.
Oh! Arygo's totally gonna try to do this every single night now.
This is how Kory loses his pet trait, and Arygo gains a pet trait.
Oh man.
Alright, it's time to work, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, so you can recover another point overnight.
And then we die.
Well, maybe. Then we're on to another day of travel, and you are going to be at -2 for this discrete roll.
Do you mind closing your eyes real quick?
No. But yes, when I say no, I mean I refuse.
So since you closed your eyes, I rolled a 1. It was a critical success.
Oh wow, look at that. It looks a lot like a 13 when I look at it.
That was his double check, you know?
Oh, you're right,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, V, go ahead and roll your actual discrete roll now.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me
You
just put
can
in the
just roll it
proper
as a
modifier.
1d20 this time.
Alright, I rolled at -10. It didn't work.
Alright, roll a 1d20.
Oh, I don't like that number.
13. Okay. Oh,
It's
I don't
more
have to
than 1, so I don't like it.
Well, no,
Hey, maybe,
it's just mimicking
maybe it's
my...
a beast. Maybe
Yeah,
Kory will
maybe.
be able to talk
Wait,
to it.
no, we went over this. That's a 1. I just critically succeeded in the d20.
Right. A gander over here.
It's a gander. That is a beast.
Yo, I should name my next character Gander.
Oh well.
I'm gonna name my next character Kevin.
No, we should just name our characters words that Kevin likes to use to describe things.
Lumbering oaf.
Copes.
I mean, there's not another way to describe a thing of trees other than like an entire forest.
Or we could all just name ourselves different variations of Kory.
Yeah, we're already doing this.
I'm adopting Grotto and renaming her Cora.
Okay. So you go on through the course of the day,
And we don't encounter anything. It's peaceful. day.
around lunchtime, you have entered a pretty dark portion of woodland. The trees are tall and thick, and the foliage just cuts out a lot of the overhead light, which makes things somewhat dim. But it's comfortable. The day's warm, so it just feels sort of pleasantly cool as you're hiking along here. But you stop for lunch, and if you want, you can all make your bushcraft rolls now for the day.
Well, I don't see why. They won't matter after this.
Oof. This is your moment, Kory.
What?
If you crit succeed this, it means we don't have to fight a monster.
I'll go back to Dati. Hut.
Hey!
All right, crit success, Kevin. We didn't find a monster. We just found dinner.
I'm not sure that's true, but you do manage to find a couple extra portions of food, so you can find enough for Chorus and for Arga as well as yourself.
Okay.
Argo
Hey.
counts as 2 people.
Okay, well in that case,
All right, so then Arga also has to use a ration as well as getting half of the free food.
so you have found a sort of comfortable spot to settle down between all of you, and let's just do a little jokes. Dottie, go ahead and make
Uh-oh.
a vigilant roll
Okay.
at let's see.
-9. Let's just make it easy.
-1.
Hey.
Okay, not bad. Whew. Where's my phone? Here we are. I'm just gonna look up a trait that you have real quick here.
Hello, my tiny baby kitty. This is my finger, and it's how it smells.
Okay.
That's my shoe.
So, as you guys are eating and sort of just taking a break in your travels, you relax because it's comfortable, and when you're hiking for hours and hours, it's kind of nice to get off your feet.
Is there a nice breeze?
There is a nice breeze.
Fallen for my trap.
And as Dottie is snacking on some berries she found especially plump and tasty berries,
Uh-oh.
she notices a little stirring in the corner of her eye. As she glances over, she is able to catch sight of
I can predict it.
what do you
Berries?
predict?
It means it's a forest clown. The red nose was hidden among the berries.
Okay. That was a terrible guess.
But it was very interesting.
Shut the fuck up, B.
She notices a Conaron.
Ooh, I don't know what that is.
So
forest
you've
clown.
run into a couple of these before on other characters. The Conaron is a large snake that has a penchant
Oh.
for finding people and
Hugging them in their sleep.
hugging them in their sleep. Yes.
Oh.
One such
Yeah.
is immediately behind Chorus right now.
This is rude.
You have no idea how it got there so quickly, but you know that they are, of course, quite stealthy creatures,
Mhm.
even if their discreet is only 11. And it is poised. It is maybe a foot behind him. It has coiled preemptively, and it is ready to sort of, launch
Hug.
forward and strangle him.
It's in hug position.
Yes.
Is this the Master Acrobatics Twisty Snake?
It is, in fact, that very snake.
Fuck!
As long as we don't have people who fight in melee range, we're fine. Quote unquote.
That turns around into grave.
So, Dati is, I think, she's going to sit there kind of with her mouth open at first.
Mm-hmm.
And for a half second, she considers just trying to talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, she's just going to start singing to try and ensnare the beast.
Okay.
What is its resolute?
It's resolute. Oops. Its resolute is 9, so you will be making your roll at +1.
Actually, +2 because it's a trait, so I have a +1 extra.
Okay.
So she will start trying to sing to distract it at first.
Okay.
And I think, I think that it's not going to be singing in Snake-ish, even though that's possible. It's just going to be kind of a to everyone here, it might as well be wordless, but it's going to be singing in Elvish.
Okay.
Not that. Definitely not that. No. She will sing in Elvish, and I think it will probably be a general kind of lament. Not necessarily dirgy, but, a sadder song. And as she does, she'll kind of, keep her eyes wide and kind of gesture, everybody can fuck up right now, but not say that, because, singing.
Yeah. So this kind of dirgy, wordless melody does catch the snake's attention. It has risen up. It is coiled. It looks about to snare Chorus, but as soon as this music begins, its head kind of twitches and then flicks around to consider Dati. And for the moment, it is distracted. It does not do anything else.
Yeah. She's definitely gonna just get up, gesture upwards as she starts to stand up and gesture for everyone to get up and get back. And hopefully they notice the snake.
Do we notice the snake?
Well,
Chorus starts standing up.
yeah. So Chorus,
Uh-huh.
go ahead and make a vigilant roll at let's just say minus. Well, it has discreet, but it's not really hiding at all. Let's just say -1 because it's behind you. But you are kind of like, what's going on now?
There's a snake in my pants.
And yeah, Arygo, you can go ahead and also make a vigilant roll at -1.
Can I just do a flat? Because I already have 7. Oh!
All right.
See, if you just whine, the game will give you what you want.
Listen, I'm really good at whining. Don't get me started.
You're,
So, you want to play Grotto?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're both able to notice that the snake is present. Now, Chorus, what is your knee-jerk reaction to a large snake being coiled up just behind you?
Very slowly move away.
Wow, okay. Let's have you roll Let's roll your resolute, just flat, to see whether you maintain the nerve to not be wigged out. Yeah, okay. So Chorus begins to just very slowly, as he said, move away.
Look, I don't want to do any sudden movements. I might go, yeah, I bite you.
If you failed the resolute roll, you were totally just gonna go, yeah.
No, it was gonna go, yeah. I was gonna go, ah.
Okay. So Chorus, yeah, go ahead.
Arygo is a monster slayer, and she has beast lore.
Yes.
Has she fought one of these before?
It's really up to you whether you fought one of these before. They do tend to go after solitary individuals. If they're especially hungry, they'll attack groups, but even then, they really are only interested in getting the drop on someone, preferably someone sleeping or completely distracted.
Can I roll beast lore to see if I know anything?
Oh, no, you know this for sure. You're
okay.
familiar with them. It's just a question of whether you've run into them yourself, because it's not all that often that they do, like, attack groups. So if Arygo's been out with other people, it's possible she hasn't been a target, but she's certainly aware of them and the risks that they carry.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is familiar with these creatures, and right now Chorus is creeping away from his very vulnerable position in front of it, and it's aware of the movements the rest of you are making, but it's still mostly paying attention to Dati.
Kory, you should be singing for us.
Oh, how much is that kitty in the window?
It attacks.
No.
Is there anything else that you're doing right now?
So I think Grotto definitely like catches on in that getting up and going to a place is like the kind of first thing that anyone learns. So Grotto kind of catches on, go away too.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as everybody's like a safe distance, she'll like I think she's gonna back up too and maybe be like just a hole, and she's gonna. It's also like not just safe distance, but also spread out everyone.
Everyone get in the melee range.
It's gonna be more. I think she'll just kind of cut the singing entirely and start hissing at it.
Okay. What does she say?
So this is a predator, and I've kind of been working on like how they speak, and I think one of the things that I view kind of predators thinking on is that there's like the instinct of don't let prey get away, but there's also the instinct of like don't eat things that mostly eat meat and are also like not worth the effort. You gotta. It's not like a rabbit.
Black Widow.
It's not like you're a rabbit where your prey isn't gonna run away. She's gonna kind of express in sibilant hissing that she too eats many things and is very strong and is not worth the effort and time to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll also belt aside really quickly to Arygo, toss it a meat ration.
If only she didn't give it all to Grotto.
Arygo's not standing next to anyone. Arygo has her hands up in a what the fuck is going on kind of gesture, because I think this is the first time that she's heard Dati talking to an animal.
I mean, other than Grotto, she growls at Grotto.
Yeah, but that's
but this is a new language, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, what the fuck is she doing? And then I do kind of hiss that. She's like, okay. It takes her a while to fish around in her ration, in her bag.
Is her backpack organized?
No, And also, it looks almost empty. Sad face. She pulls out a ration after some digging and unwraps it, grabs meaty bits, and just kind of flings it over.
So
Okay.
was it some digging because she was having trouble finding the ration, or because she really wanted to like debate on whether or not she wanted to get rid of the ration?
Roll me an insight check.
That's vigilant here, buddy.
Dati, go ahead and roll persuasive +1.
Okay. That's resolute, and that's not what I want.
Yeah, you're the one who-
Wow.
Oh my god.
Well, throw in another meat ration. By which I mean yourself. Go attack it.
I am the best meat ration.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Haraga's like looking around like, did I do the thing correctly?
So how I see this going bad is Dotty's trying to like calm the snake down, teach it all this stuff, and because it just barely fails, a meat ration just like slaps the snake in the face.
Yes! Haraga hits the snake with the meat ration. It's a wet slap. No, it would be a dry, salty slap.
Okay, so yeah, this Conaron is almost stationary, but its head kind of drifts to the left and the right as it listens to Dottie's hissing. And it's difficult to read a snake's face, seeing as it doesn't have much expressive qualities.
eyebrows.
Whatsoever. No
Is
eyebrows.
it tasting
yeah.
the air right now?
No eyebrows. It is not tasting the air. It is simply staring. And then the ration kind of clanks down in front of it. I guess it doesn't clank because it's meat, but it thuds down
It
near
was actually her sword.
Catch this!
She actually attacked. And since Dati was not quite able to persuade this creature, it did look somewhat hesitant now that its opportunity has vanished in getting a drop on any of you.
Mm-hmm.
The quick motion seems to trigger its predatory instincts, and it lets out this sort of derisive comment towards Dottie, implicating that she is not a fierce predator, but can prey only on like the weak and sickly,
Oh, get
and it will
fucking
slither its way very quickly towards Chorus.
Why?
I was really trying to because I rolled for who would target at the start, and it was you.
Why do you hate me so much?
It's because
I
you're the
assume-
smallest one. Duh.
No, that's the
What
Buyer
is
Gordon
his
Beast.
14.
Oh! You just need to pin it.
I don't
I like how
have.
we've come across this twice, at least.
Uh-huh.
And once was undead.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then it squished a dude because it was so big.
I really hope
That was very
last
different.
one did not have master acrobatics.
Yeah, okay, so we will start combat now. It is Chorus's turn. And we'll say that the snake is bearing down on him, but is not quite like touching him. You aren't in melee range with it just yet.
All right, here's my plan.
Okay.
Run.
I do 2 movement away from it.
You do 2 turns of movement away from it.
Yeah, he fucking runs.
Okay, that's fine. So it starts going for Chorus. Everyone discovers that Chorus has a phobia of snakes.
Giant snakes. Excuse you?
Giant snake.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it have to be giant?
So it is the snake's turn. And its prey is running full speed away from him. Away from it, really. So it'll pause and kind of flick its tongue out, taste the air, and then turn its head to consider Dati and Arygo and Grotto. So we'll order. So it is Grotto that the snake advances upon.
This is much better.
No,
And
my son. My daughter.
You mean your daughter?
it draws into melee range with Grotto. And it will try to attack it. Now, the nature of its attacking is actually going to be trying to kind of snare around it. So... think... Yeah, so does it use... What does it use to attack? I guess just accurate?
Yes, it's got a very low attack.
Yeah, that is how we did it.
Yeah. It's such
It's such an odd stat block for this because it doesn't actually have a weapon. So because it doesn't have a weapon, it doesn't have a stat associated with it, which is why I did accurate last time, because accurate is the default. So yeah, so go ahead and have Grotto roll to defend at +5.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and it is unable to get a hold of Grotto. It is now Arygo's turn.
Arygo will. Oh shit. Okay, well, okay, she's gonna draw her greatsword, charge forward, and try to cleave it with a blade. Mighty blade.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll so it is going to try and force this attack to strike Grotto instead of itself with its exceptionally quick, sinuous twisting to kind of reform the arrangement of the three of you. So it's gonna roll versus quick. So it needs a 14 to pass. Yes. So you are attacking Grotto, but go ahead and attack.
What modifier?
Oh, should I have done it? Wait, in combat more than one, the character uses a shield and have that opponent cannot defend against the attack.
Yeah. So it's dependent upon whether or not she hits.
So I should have. Okay, yeah, I wanted to like declare before seeing the damage because that felt fair, but yeah, I should have waited to see if you hit because that's when it would happen. So yeah, just go ahead and attack at -4.
-4? The fuck?
Well, if you miss, it's not a terrible thing.
Sweet. Neato burrito.
Okay. So you miss, which means you don't hit Grotto either.
Yay.
And it is Dati's turn. Yep, Dati's turn.
I think that Dati is going to whip out her dagger rather than anything else. Seeing how this is going, her dagger contains the least likelihood of hurting Raga or Grotto. And she will move in and try and slash away at the snake.
Okay. Yeah, attack at -4. Okay. You do hit it.
Is it flanked?
I am not sure that you can flank it. Let me check its.
Yeah,
stat
I
bar.
thought acrobatics like negates.
Yeah,
flank.
it has master acrobatics. Roll past enemies, free attacks.
Novice acrobatics is
Yeah, it doesn't actually
get
say
out of
anything about
attack.
advantage on getting flanked. So no, yeah, you're flanking it.
I do 6 damage.
6
and
damage.
do whatever. Well, I guess actually that's interesting. That's so interesting. I do 4 damage to it, or 6 damage to it, or 4 damage to someone else. Right?
Hmm.
It would probably be 6 to whatever target it hits.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Because the 2 adds on to the damage of the 4, and it's not like a separated.
Yeah, I think I would say that it would just be whatever the flanking benefit would be.
Okay.
And I suppose the rationale for that would be just the fact that it's a total cluster of trying to get this twisted
My
snake that's
question,
between all your
though-
legs or whatever.
The bonus to hit should be there,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not technically flanking. Like, the bonus to damage should only apply when I damage it, right?
Yeah, you'd think so. Let's see.
I'm not gonna be upset either way.
It just seems weird to have a roll for damage that only applies to one target but not the other, regardless.
Yeah,
Depending on where the target goes. But I mean, I think you would not be flanking it. Although I'm tempted to say like you are flanking the thing that you're hitting, even if it's your ally, because it's sandwiching the snake. But then like you don't by default add that damage on, right? So
No,
I would
'cause
say that the
what
extra die
flanking-
will only account for the snake.
What
And
flanking's
you do hit it.
supposed to be is like, this is you're in a spot to get like a good hit, and if the snake moved something else in the way, and you were still going with full force, like this is gonna hit.
Yeah. Well, so the only reason I don't want to
Mhm.
apply that logic is because it's not explicitly stated, and that would be like the default case every time 2 people are fighting it at the same time. So I feel as though it would be mentioned. So we just will have base damage on allies. And because I mentioned that it was trying to block the attack earlier, it won't do anything to interfere with it, which makes it Grotto's turn.
Oh, okay. I think that what Dati is going to suggest here is Grotto calm. And that's not a natural instinct for a raging Iagorn, but that means that Grotto won't be a raging Iagorn.
Grr.
And so just does die 4.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll to attack.
-4.
-4. Ah, it's a crit. Go ahead and confirm it.
Little low odds, but oh my gosh.
Still a crit. Okay, yeah, so you deal 5 damage. Plus the flanking. Wow. And yeah. So that does, let's see, 9 damage. And that does trigger its pain threshold.
We knocking it down,
Oh,
boys.
thanks.
Okay. You've knocked it down on the ground.
I didn't want to shoot the snake anyway.
Is going to make a quick test
Just delay your turn until after it.
to. Okay.
Doesn't it need to
the
do that
snake
on
is
its
no
turn?
longer on the ground.
Yeah, but after Grotto's
Wait, doesn't it do that on its turn?
No. So if a character is knocked down, he or she may attempt to jump back up again as a free action by making a quick test. And free actions happen when they are triggered. So
Okay.
its novice acrobatics allows it to just spring back up, which in the case of being a snake
okay.
is more of a rollover sort of situation.
Well, I guess that means my shot's not at disadvantage.
Yeah.
It is Corsa's turn.
He pulls out his crossbow for a movement.
Okay.
And then, having reclaimed his hammerhead bolts, he is going to attempt to shoot one.
Okay. Roll to attack at -4. Four damage.
Does that beat its strength?
No, no, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, so you hit her for 4 damage.
So it's just like, because it doesn't have a point, it just like bonks off the head of the snake.
Yeah, the snake's head kind of jerks to the side of the thud and kind of sticks its tongue out for a moment. This is. And it is the snake's turn. It will turn its attention to. Actually, no, it'll just stay focused on Grotto because Grotto freaking ripped a whole big chunk of flesh and scales out of this snake's body. So it will try to entwine. Grotto, go ahead and roll Def to defend +5.
Good def.
Yeah, the snake is not able to connect. It is Arygo's turn.
Arga smash.
Roll to
Arygo
attack
smash
at,
Grotto.
-4?
well, -4, but it is at you're at advantage right now, so it would be -2. Okay, you connect. That is going to hit Grotto if it succeeds in a.
Do I roll the 1d4?
We'll see.
Okay.
15 or higher. 15. Ah!
Yeah, it is. It is not able. Yeah, roll the 1d4.
11 damage.
Pain threshold. Or dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
Ooh. Good work, team.
I don't think there's a like. I think this is the second most dangerous enemy we've ever faced, singular, for like its potential.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Especially with like a character like Arygo or Pekome, who could just cleave an ally in half.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So Arga pulls her greatsword up into the air, the mighty lift, and then just swings it down and decapitates this thing. One fell blow.
Good def.
Dati sibilantly hisses that she told it so.
Wow, that was so bad.
I love
Alright.
it.
Uh,
So
Chorus,
good.
Chorus reclaims the loot.
Oh, that was really funny. Yeah, the what?
The loot. He gathers the loot.
Oh, you loot it, of course.
No.
Yes.
I go and take the jerky.
Okay. You take Arygo's meat ration.
Oh my god, Arga's gonna fight you. She
Alright.
sees you go for it, she's like, no.
Hold on. Does she see me go for it?
She sure does.
She saw me go for it.
Also, you're like 2 moves away from it right now.
Yeah, but they're distracted with the snake.
Yeah.
As you pick it up, Arga's like, thank you. Holds her hand out. I'll be taking that back.
He opens his mouth, starts slowly lifting his hand.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna tackle you.
Does she actually?
Yes.
She's
She
a woman
l-
holding a massive greatsword that's dripping with blood. But
Yeah, she fucking she drops her sword, she freaking tackles you.
Alright, but do I hold on to the jerky?
I think that's like resolute at that point.
Oh, resolute the fuck.
What's my modifier, Kevin?
I think we just do flat to each other, right?
You're contesting with Resolute instead. Well, so I think there's a Resolute to see if Chorus just wants to keep this up, right? And you can roll Resolute at flat.
No.
No, yeah, Chorus is going to probably... it gets wrestled out of his grasp before it turns into a real wrestling match.
She essentially just tackles him, grabs it out of his hand, and then just chomps it, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
so no, she's not gonna eat it now. So she takes it out, right? And then like as she's pushing herself up, she's using you to like lever herself up to her feet. So she's shoving you into the dirt. Gets
Pretty
up
weird.
and she's like brushing dirt off of her meat ration, coveting it, and she moves back over to pick up her giant sword dripping with Canary blood.
Alright, now he's gonna loot the snake, and by which I mean skin it. And take the things.
Dati spends this entire time just growling at Grotto about what a good girl she was in keeping her head instead of losing her temper. Because that was a very dangerous beast to get wrapped up in. You were a good girl.
We did it, team. And now we can set up for camp for the night.
Yeah, so this did only happen at midday, so you can continue traveling. However, if you want Chorus to skin this thing,
Yes.
that will take a lot of time, so it would probably be best to camp out where you are presently.
Yes.
Dati doesn't look as if she likes the idea, but understands interpersonal relationships sometimes require you letting people do things that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And passively permits it.
Okay. So she'll let it. Okay. Great. So then you guys will spend the afternoon here, sort of at the site of the fight, maybe just a safe distance away, and you can kind of chat a little or just go over what you do in the evening, and then it'll be time to rest.
Alright, well, you guys start talking while I skin this snake.
I think actually, given that critical success and the general bountiful nature of the clearing we were in, do you think we could maybe regain some rations also?
I mean, there's snake meat right here. You willing to eat snake meat, Kory?
Dati is not willing to eat snake meat.
Well, then no rations for Dati.
But yeah, do you think between the plentiful bushes, critical success, and the snake as a group?
Oh, right, because we did our bushcraft rolls early.
Yeah.
I think that's a later question.
Oh. Oh. I understand what's going on. The DM left. I'm the DM now. Everyone gets 12 rations, all their stat points, 50 XP. Wait, no, what's it take to just take a skill from master to novice to master?
90.
No, 10, 20, 30,
60.
60. Everybody gets exactly 60 experience points
Oh,
to
thank you,
spend
DM.
on a stat. Their skill straight from novice to master.
It's our time now.
Are masters of a skill.
Now
Alright,
I'm
well,
gonna
no.
be Master Slayer instead of Monster Slayer.
Because two of us are now masters.
Nice.
I'm
Well,
going to have to duel you for the title of Master.
yeah, but I'm a master trap.
Well, I'm going to slay you because I'm a Master Slayer.
How are you gonna slay me?
Gestures the giant fucking sword.
Oh, the not fun way.
I mean,
We could have gone with the other type of conquest.
let me try and make it sexy. Hold on. Oh, it's so sexy.
Big sexy.
Hell, wait. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wait, I have a very important thing to discuss related to big sexy.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
So while I was at work taking a whole bunch of takeout orders, the color ID for one of the people who tried to place an order was big sexy.
Nice. Nice.
And I was very scared to answer the phone.
Listen, people
How'd
gotta
it go?
It was fine. He just wanted to ask if we were open
Oh, did he now?
and what delivery
How
services we
open
have.
were you? Did he get you to deliver some sausage?
No.
Listen, that's confidential information between a client and their food, okay?
Okay. Kevin, I became DM while you were gone and gave everybody 60 experience to spend on one skill from novice to master.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Chorus and Araga had to duel because I can't remember why, but Araga is very sexy in this duel.
Okay.
That's all we got up to.
Is this a duel to the death?
I mean,
I don't think sexy duels are supposed to be to the death.
Oh, okay. But you're using a greatsword.
Nah, see her cunning roll?
Uh-huh.
You don't use cunning in a greatsword. I know this because greatswords are heavy,
Oh, okay.
and tactician lets you use cunning,
Yeah.
attack rolls, and defense rolls, as long as you're not using a heavy weapon.
Yeah. Yeah,
It comes
that's fair.
full circle.
Gotcha.
No. Yeah, I think we just kind of spend the day. What we were asking, what I was trying to ask repeatedly until B hinted enough that you were gone, that I went, oh wait, he's not here,
Oh, okay.
is
Yeah.
given the bountiful nature of the area we're in,
Mm-hmm.
the critical success of the one roll, and the giant fucking dead snake, do you think we can reclaim some rations?
Yeah, I think you can make a couple rations. Now, the crit, you already got 3
Yeah,
rations
okay,
out of
yeah,
that
yeah.
worth of food, so we're not going to count that for any more.
Okay.
You wheedler. But, you do
Look,
have that
but
snake
how
next
else
to
is he supposed to convince you that he's right? God damn it, Kory.
Oh, sorry.
What?
He keeps messing with my character sheet.
Ow, nice.
It's incredibly distracting.
Yeah, so with the snake, and especially once it's,
butchered.
Chorus goes part of the way with cutting it open and gutting it and trying to get the skin off. So you can make, I'd say, probably 4 rations worth of food from the snake. It's not
Alright.
exactly the most
Meaty.
plentiful of creatures, but you get some.
Chorus gives 1 to himself, 2 to Big Lady, and then he tells Dati to give 1 to Grotto.
Okay, Dottie holds on to it.
And then he would wrap up the skin and, well, actually, no, he'd leave it out to dry first. Over the night.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, go ahead and go to sleep. Collect an extra point.
Hell yeah, we max.
Almost max, boys.
Hell yeah, now I can start recovering points in resolute instead of toughness.
Oh, yeah, you got slapped by a ghost one.
Yeah, I recovered 1 point from that and have never recovered any points ever. I've actually been intentionally making Dottie a bit more intense because she's down 4 points of resolute.
I thought Dottie was always just a bit of a dick and, like, grouchy.
What? Dottie's been pretty reasonable.
That's what you think.
I think that's what the majority of people would think who aren't Chorus.
Listen, I don't want to hear what Chorus is thinking. No, actually, I do. But the way that Chorus thinks is not the same because he's eating grubs. He's sitting over there eating bugs.
You said that.
She said it 2 different ways. Okay, so we get to the next day. And let's see, is this our final travel roll, or is there one
Yes.
more after that? It
I
is
think
our
it's the
final.
last
Yeah,
one.
yeah, we've done 3.
Because we went 0, 1, 2.
Neutral.
Neutral.
19.
Never gonna fuck it up.
Called it.
Yeah, congratulations.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and roll a 1d20.
19.
So, do you want to call this one too?
It's gonna be a 19.
Kory, can you fuck up her call?
It's not a 19, it's a 20. Oh, thank God.
Y'all are really playing with fire, let me tell you.
It's been
No,
a while.
We're playing with 7s.
Listen, the longer we play this game, it's just a game of when's the next time we're gonna fight a necromage.
What do you mean fight? We've never fought a necromage. We've tried to run and then got
Hikome
compelled
tried to
into
fight the
running hard.
necromage.
Yeah, Pikami tried real hard to fight the necromage.
By real hard, you mean I got one turn and then everyone else was like, bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
And then I got a magical weapon that could
Dane
damage it.
took
And then everyone was
one
like,
turn
bye.
to try and fight the necromage. And then
attempted to cast a spell and failed and left.
Yes. So we both got one turn. Have we bought enough time for Kevin to know what a 7 means?
You have, in fact. So you travel eastward, and at really quite early in the morning, maybe mid-morning, after only an hour of travel or so, you're making your way through the woods when you hear something making its way through the woods towards you. And you have time to kind of gather up and get prepared when a band of 4 individuals sort of tromps through the trees and into vision. One stands much higher than the others. It is an ogre, head and shoulders above its fellows, carrying a large, heavy hammer over one shoulder. It's wearing leathers, and it looks very tall and gruff and somewhat unhappy. And it has 3 fellows with it. 2 humans and a goblin that have an assortment of studded leathers and clubs and other such items. They don't look all that well off. They're quite kind of muddied in the face. Their gear has frayed edges and heavy scoring here or there, but you can tell that they kind of look like a group of fortune hunters, maybe. Now, the line between fortune hunters who are hunting without a license, and these guys clearly don't have a license, and the bandits is thin to none. And when they look upon the collection of you 3 and Grotto, they look a little eager. You can see this kind of antagonistic hunger or
You see the avarice in their eyes.
Yeah, there's avarice in their eyes. There's disdain, and they're kind of tightening the grip on their weapons as they begin to shuffle forward.
Quick, sing your snake song.
And I will add these guys to the queue.
And then they left because they liked being alive. I see peaches.
Nope. We're gonna edit that. Ugh. Gonna call them bandits. Okay, so it is Chorus's turn.
All right. No, you'd never expect this maneuver. I pull out my crossbow,
Mm-hmm.
and then I shoot a hammerhead bolt at the goblin.
Oh my god! You're gonna do it!
What's my modifier to miss?
No, you have a +1 to hit.
Oh,
God, you're gonna do it!
has it happened, Kevin?
I hate to do this to you,
Is his strength 11?
but it's strong. It's actually 15.
What the
What the
fuck?
I don't know why. I didn't even
goblin?
notice that until I looked at it. Yeah.
This is fucking
Guys have
bullshit.
strong 15.
What the fuck?
I thought you did it. I'm really sorry for you.
So Chorus hits with maximum damage with this hammerhead,
Like, I just
A
cracked his
goblin?
goddamn skull.
and wait, but what's his?
We
Does
gotta
the
rework.
10
Like,
kill it?
when this is over, no, it can't kill it because its strength is 15, which means minimum it has 15 health. That's ignoring armor even.
You are right about that. But you do 10 points of damage to this guy, modified by an amount. But you do hit its pain threshold. Consolation prize.
Do I get another shot?
Oh, it's up to you.
I do have a
Knock it down or
repeater
have a
shot.
free attack.
Wait, Kevin, if I use another hammerhead bolt, can we combine the total damages for
Yes,
a
if
stun?
you want to attack it with another hammerhead bolt, you can combine the amount of this next hit with the previous amount. That is insufficient.
Wow. Wow.
Dunk, dunk.
Bonk.
Yeah, so you do a max hit and don't trigger the special effect of your very useful hammerhead.
I wanted to trade them, but you wouldn't let me.
It's true. It's because you're out in the sticks, man.
Alright, next turn. He's been double dunked.
Yeah, it is Arygo's turn.
You see a beautiful shot, followed by a less beautiful shot, but still kind of pretty.
Who's the biggest guy?
The ogre.
The ogre, yeah.
Arygo's gonna run up to the ogre
Oh god.
and clobber them with her greatsword.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll 2 attack.
Wait,
Plus
I
1.
have a question.
What?
Mhm.
Why is Arygo going before?
Oh, that's a great question. She doesn't get to.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I just messed up when I was organizing the numbers there. It is the ogre's turn.
Look, now they can split up for you, and then you can punch him.
So the ogre will march forward, and it kind of picks Arygo out, incidentally, as the most threatening of the bunch. So it will march directly for her, heft its big, heavy two-handed hammer up into both hands, in fact, off of its shoulder, and then just swing forward. So go ahead and roll to defend at -5.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
-5, you're gonna get a 7-point damage hit.
Not good. That's gonna hurt.
Oh,
Oh,
someone
my
forgot they're
sweet,
wearing actual armor.
sweet armor. I
Yeah,
love
so you take 0 points of damage from that blow. It is a heavy blow. It connects. It kind of rattles Arygo's breathing inside the armor, but she comes out unscathed, comparatively, and it is her turn.
Just gonna smack him back.
Okay. Roll to attack at +1.
With her hand or with her sword?
She's gonna slap it with a greatsword. Bap.
Does that break his strong? She's using her hammerhead sword.
So that does that much. And it's pain threshold. Okay, so you do not trigger the pain threshold, but you do get a solid blow on this ogre. The greatsword kind of cuts through leather and some of the just tough ogre skin that this ogre has. And that is Arygo's turn. Dati.
Dati is going to whip out a dagger and
Ooh.
advance upon the weakest person imaginable, the goblin.
That just got a brand new concussion.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll try and finish it off.
Okay. Roll to attack at +1. You connect.
Oh well.
You tried.
I tried to finish it off.
See, your problem was aiming for the skull. We've proven this goblin has a very thick skull.
The goblin does have a shield, so he just kind of lifts his shield and catches the dagger on it. With a little snigger. And then it's their turn. No, it's not. Yes, it is. And the goblin will consider Dati and then try to attack her with a spiked club.
Is someone dying?
June is laughing very much.
Is that the sound
Sounds
of the
like she's
goblin?
having a good time.
Yes. No one is complaining about
No, she's
you.
fine. So I assume you're going to roll to deter the
Yes.
goblin from attacking you?
Yes.
So it's resolute is
Modifier.
7, you have +3. Okay, yes, you manage to convince this goblin that it would be better off
Yes,
not
she
attacking you.
continues slashing away at it and its armor,
Mhm.
and shrieking with her pale face smeared with blood-red berries in a line.
Yeah.
And just continues being someone that you maybe want to reconsider being.
It will instead try to move away from Dati. It doesn't like being next to her and her
Just
berries.
knife him.
So yeah, roll to attack at +1 again.
I just knife him.
6 damage.
He breaks, and I knife him in the back.
Much better.
Yeah, what health does he have? Okay, that's
It was a 10 and then a 2. The 2 probably didn't
Okay.
do damage.
So you do score him, and a 1. Don't forget the 1.
I did. There's no reason
Yeah,
to remember
so
it.
you manage to connect, but the goblin does scurry away. You get a solid blow, and you've certainly done damage to it, but it does pull off, and it pulls a throwing knife from a brace against presumably the inside of its shield.
It's pestle.
And it will flick the dagger out in Arygo's direction. So go ahead and roll to defend at -1, Arygo. Okay. Yeah, the knife kind of goes soaring just past her shoulder. She can feel the whistle of air, but might not even notice what caused it as it flies past. The other 2 fortune hunters are going to attempt to pepper Dati with throwing knives of their own. So go ahead and
My only weakness.
roll to defend at -1 twice.
Okay.
One day I want to shout my only immunity.
Okay. So 1 dagger solidly connects, but it doesn't do any damage through your armor, and the other misses. It is Grotto's turn.
It's time for big boy bites. Let's go. Is Grotto gonna get angry and go bite him?
Yeah, I'm kind of just thinking of targets, and I think that Grotto should probably join Araga.
Just go for the closest one
And-
available.
Just flail away. What's the modifier to hit on?
Well, now that you have advantage, it is going to be +3.
Okay, so it'll just kind of rage away into Tasmanian devil levels of flying balls of fur and just try and beat the shit out of the thing in its flank. Just go straight for the meaty legs of the ogre.
Delicious.
Okay. Yeah, so you manage to connect, and Grotto kind of tears through sort of this guy's legging trousers, and then start carving into his calf, and he lets out an angry bellow. And it is Chorus's turn.
I'm out of hammerhead bolts, unfortunately.
Oh
Dang.
no.
So I'll just have to use something more useful like this grappling hook bolt.
Do you not have normal bolts?
I do.
Okay.
That is going to eventually be a problem if we never go to a place that sells bolts. I'm going to shoot at the goblin again.
Okay. With a grappling bolt or with a regular
No,
one?
with a normal bolt.
All right, just making sure. Go ahead and roll to attack at +1. The bolt flies off.
Here's the alt timeline of
It's
where
not
I
in the
was.
same direction
Here's the alt timeline of when I was good.
as the goblin.
See, that's what could have happened.
It could have. It could have. It is the plunderer's turn. He is angry and he is hurt, and he is going to bring his hammer down on Arygo's head or near it.
That's a little murder.
Roll to defend at -5.
Oh, what the fuck? I don't like that.
She forgot.
Yeah, well, you are able to absorb a lot of the damage. It doesn't hit Arygo in the head, it hits her in the shoulder. And she has chainmail pauldrons or something on.
Big, fuzzy, fluffy leather pauldrons.
Yeah, so take 2 points of damage.
Oh, you're going to regret that.
And it is Arygo's turn.
I will show you how much you're going to regret that.
Roll to attack at +3.
Nice.
Oh, it's only 4 damage.
You get a 1d4. Well, confirm it first.
Fuck.
Look at what it could have been.
Fuck!
You do get a 1d4 additional damage because you're flanking it with Grotto. Okay, so that is 5 plus 3. That's 8 points of damage.
Man,
Mhm.
all-time us is way
He is
better than
not
him.
dead. But he is quite hurt.
Okay, well, I did critically hit, so
Yep.
I would like to do another attack.
Okay, go right ahead.
+3.
Mhm.
Bap.
Okay. You get a 1d4 as well.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, you kill him.
Okay, so she takes this blow and it kind of like throws her off balance, and she wheels her sword around and just kind of cuts through the air here as she just hammers it down into his shoulder clavicle area, and that probably like brings him to a knee, and then she brings it back up and then hacks him like a lumberjack, and this time the greatsword connects directly where she had hit previously and just crushes into his upper bones and splits him a little bit, but not all the way.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, the ogre kind of crumples under the blow. Very heavily topples onto the ground. It is
Who
dead.
changed my character sheet and made my hit points to 2?
Definitely not me. I don't edit. Well, wait. Let me see if actually it's possible to edit. No. No.
Okay,
No.
I fix it.
That's possible, but I don't think I did it.
Anyway, that's my turn.
Okay. Dati.
There's I will get back to that. Dati is going to find that there is no one in front of her because the little goblin ran away. She'll see that quite effectively Arygo is dealing with the biggest problem. So she will try and chase down the goblin and continue working her way up.
Okay. Yeah, so you can catch the goblin with a move.
2, 3.
Just one.
No.
Oh, the modifier. +1.
Yet again, her dagger finds the target, but scrapes along thing's armor. And she continues
doesn't-
screaming at it.
Doesn't do a lot.
She also points away generally as she does.
Mm-hmm.
Just away. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll +3 to convince it not to hit you.
Okay. That's where the 3 was.
Okie dokes. Yeah, so again, it will try to scamper away. You do get an attack of opportunity.
Knife! Ugh.
And you miss. So it darts away, and it will again fling a dagger out in Arygo's direction. So go ahead and roll to defend at -1. Yeah. And Kory, or Dati, roll to defend at -1 twice for the other 2 bandits. You take 1 point of damage from one of the daggers, nothing from the other, but they both kind of lodge into your armor.
There's 3 daggers in her general personage.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 too many.
But for being hit with 3 daggers, taking 1 point of damage is not the worst thing that could happen. And Grotto.
Grotto, having seen that the ogre is down and fully dealt with, will look at the biggest threats to Dati, and that's 2 people chucking throwing daggers, and go and try and maul them. What's the modifier on mauling? Bandits? 1?
Yeah, +1.
Nice.
Nice.
This is just one of the humans.
Yeah.
An itty bitty nibble.
Chorus.
Max.
Lum.
All right, it's time for the greatest arrow shot you've ever seen, Kevin.
Press X to doubt.
Ugh. B.
Who is this shot at?
The goblin.
Okay.
I'm continuing. See, I'm just hitting the same spot over and over. It's not for high damage, but eventually it's going to weaken it enough. That
But wait. Is that your whole turn?
yes. But it has to do damage, and I don't think a 2 is going to do damage.
Correct.
Ugh.
Arygo's gonna run over to the goblin.
So the goblin has moved back a couple times. She'll
Okay.
have to catch up to it if she wants to.
Are one of the humans like within range of her? Moving towards him?
Let's see. You and Grotto were fighting
The ogre.
kind of where it started. I would say that you're probably going to have to spend 2 moves for each of it at this point.
Okay. Arygo kicks the body off of her sword and begins charging towards the nearest enemy combatant.
Okay. So you catch up with the human that Grotto encountered earlier, who probably should have spent both moves chasing as well, but she didn't do any damage, so it doesn't matter too much. So you're both on a human.
Okay.
One human is unoccupied, and the goblin is still scrambling backward. It is Dottie's turn.
That damn goblin
Uh-huh.
is gonna die.
Next
Is
turn,
it?
not this turn. It's going to die
Dati
next.
catches it, and she knifes it, and it dies, and that's that.
Next turn.
Well,
Next turn.
you do 2 points of damage to it.
You know,
That
I
does
think the
nothing.
problem
Does
is
nothing.
that someone gave it a shield.
Persuasive, I'm gonna hit 3 so that it doesn't hit me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
That's the closest
Daddy
you've come to filling
still-
that roll in a while.
Just manages to look just unhinged enough,
Mm-hmm.
despite her ineffectualness so far. The
It
goblin should reach.
still tries to scamper away. Go ahead and try your attack again.
Gotta put in the 1 first. Ah!
You did put in the 1.
All right, yeah. So Dati again kind of just lashes out and scrapes her dagger along the shield of this goblin as it darts away. And it pulls a third dagger out from behind its shield,
How do I have the money for all these daggers? I'm throwing
Yeah.
daggers like a sailor.
hurls it
They reclaim them.
at Arygo. So go ahead and roll to defend at -1.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it misses. And Dati will take 2 more daggers, potentially. So go ahead and roll to defend at -1 twice.
You're making money. Just think of it that way.
You collect
Yeah, every dagger
valuable.
you get hit by is a failure.
Oh, sorry. It's probably Grotto's turn. I'm
No,
just
you're getting hit by a dagger.
Dati is rolling to
Wow.
defend twice.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just amazed at how this combat is going. It's going so well and so disastrously.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are relatively untouched, but
Uh.
you have successfully struck this goblin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times without doing any damage
I
to
was going through the rolls. I'm sorry. They hit at 1 or -1.
it. You roll at -1 to defend against these guys.
Ouch.
Oof.
Okay,
Oh.
so you're going to take 4 points of damage between those 2 hits.
All right.
So
Now she
much
has
for healing up your
5
resolute.
daggers within her personage.
Personage. Yeah.
Yo, that's 5 failure though.
So
Yeah. And now Grotto.
it is
gets
Grotto's
to-
turn.
Wait. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, one of the humans would have to disengage from combat, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is going to back away. Arygo and Grotto both get a free attack.
Okay. Kill him in 1 hit.
What's the modifier?
It's going to be +3.
That's wouldn't have.
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed anything.
This is my blade. Let me acquaint you with it.
That's a lot of damage.
Pain threshold?
It is not pain threshold damage, though.
Need
Uh,
8 blocked. Okay. So all that continues the same.
Yeah, everything happens the same, but you get an extra chunk of damage on one of those. Oops, that's the wrong person that I recorded it under.
You know, if you just want to give them both the damage, Kevin.
Okay,
well,
there we go. All right, it is Grotto's turn now.
Grotto will charge after the bleeding one, try to run it to the ground, and eat its face.
Okay.
But instead, he just slaps its face.
Right. So,
How many ones have
Nothing.
been rolled for the damage value?
1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 4 have been rolled.
But if we also count armor as like our secondary rolls, we have done so many ones.
Yep.
And all of them by me or Grotto.
I feel so bad for you, Kory.
So it is now Chorus's turn.
You know what? I gotta do this for Kory.
Mhm.
Chorus is gonna like kneel down slightly, you know, rest his elbow on his knee as he takes a deep breath and lines up the crossbow with the goblin. He's got to get this bolt around the shield to finally put this thing down.
Yep.
And so he takes a deep breath and releases.
Hey,
There we go.
Yes, that is. Sword hammer. Yeah, this does kill it.
So the goblin, used to this trick, goes to raise up his shield, but Chorus was prepared this time. He just shoots straight through the thigh of the goblin and rips its leg open.
Wow, yeah. And in a welter of blood, the goblin kind of spirals onto the ground, where it spasms before stilling lifelessly. So you have killed the ever elusive goblin.
We did it.
It is Arygo's turn.
Arga, smash.
Okay, yeah. So she runs up to the one that that Grotto is fighting.
Yes.
Okay, you are flanking it. You can attack a +3.
Oof.
Arygo misses.
She brings up her sword, mighty and felling, and she slams it into the ground. Dirt goes everywhere.
Man, no one hits the ground more than Araga.
She keeps doing
I don't
vertical
know. Chorus
swings.
might, with how much she's been knocked out and all.
Hey, excuse you, my percentage has wildly decreased from every single fight to like 1 in 3 fights.
You're right. You're right. Okay. So anyway, it is Dati's turn.
Finding that there's not really anyone within range,
Mhm.
I think Dati will spend a move to kind of try and get into cover and maybe get daggers out of herself.
Okay.
And then throw them.
Yeah. So you can sort of pull these various daggers out of your armor and body. And eventually you have 5 throwing daggers. You're kind of hunkered down, so no further ranged weapons will be able to strike you. Well, easily strike you. And it is the bandit's turn. The goblin is dead, so there are 2 bandits up, one beset by Grotto and Arygo, and one just Andy.
It's really insensitive that you keep calling them bandits.
Yeah, well, Fortune Hunters was too long for the turn order. So
Also, they're certainly not engaging in anything fortunate right now.
true.
Unfortunate.
The
Is that our team name?
person being attacked by Grotto and Arygo will snarl angrily and try to bring a spiked club to bear on the woman. So Arygo, go
Which
ahead
one?
and roll defend at -1.
Not gonna bear the spiked
there's only
club
one.
at the bear? Okay. -1.
Well, he said the woman. He didn't specify.
Yes.
Oh! Okay.
Wow. Go ahead and roll to confirm.
You said -1, right?
Yep. Okay, so it's not a crit. Fortunately for you, it is just an attack, and you negate all the damage that it would do.
Hell yeah.
The other companion, bandit, will run to his companion's aid, so he will also attack Arygo.
Whenever Arga, like, just kind of eats the damage with her armor, I kind of imagine for the king, whenever the blacksmith gets steadfast.
Oh yeah!
That's totally what I imagine.
Crouch down behind a shield, and then they bop it, and then they raise the shield triumphantly.
Yeah.
Man, I was thinking about it for the king earlier today.
Okay.
Anyway,
what do I roll here?
So Arygo is going to be flanked here
Okay.
by the second. So you're going to roll to defend at -3.
Oof.
Okay, so you're going to take 5 points of damage for this hit.
Okay. Owie.
And it is Grotto's turn.
Grotto does a backflip and then kicks the bandit in the face.
No, definitely not, unless I crit, and then I'll consider it. So this is kind of a mess right now.
It is. Yeah, you're in a 4-person brawl right now.
Yeah. But there's still flanking going on, at least for one of them. And I think
Yeah, I
that's
would
the
say
one.
that basically you two are boxing in one of the
Yeah.
bandits, which is giving the other bandit the ability to kind of attack Arygo from behind.
Okay.
So this target of yours is flanked. However,
Oh no.
critically missed. Go ahead
He
and
did a
see whether it was
backflip
in
and
fact
ate
a
it.
crit.
Okay.
It was not. You just missed. Okay, so Grotto does not successfully hit the injured human bandit. It is Chorus's turn.
Alright. So, Chorus is going to pull back the lever on his crossbow, quickly reload a bolt, and then he's going to take his full action to shoot a shot straight into the bandit who just bopped Arygo.
Okay. Roll to attack -1. Or +1, sorry.
Wow. Oof.
That was really close to a 20. Okay, yeah, so the coral just kind of goes soaring through the air. A few heads above the bandit.
Well, look, Arygo's really tall and I didn't want to hit her. Surprising.
It is Arygo's turn.
She is going to try to cleave the one that's she's been bopping.
Okay.
+3.
Yeah, so roll to attack +3.
Everybody bopping.
All right, 1d4.
Pain threshold.
I'm not sure the pain threshold is going to matter here.
Well,
Yep, this kills him barely.
Okay. She swings her greatsword sideways and basically baseball bats it into this guy's skull with the sharp side.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
with the sharp side.
Yeah, so this basically cuts like half, maybe 3/4 of the way through this fellow's skull.
It was pretty brutal.
It's grotesque. As the sword cuts through bone and skin and brain.
That's not
And
then more
as
bone.
she fights the blade free from the hold of the bone, he'll just kind of collapse onto the ground.
Well, at
Dati.
least now she can finally name her greatsword.
Nice.
She can name
Dati,
it.
having collected all the throwing daggers from her personage, will peek out from her position of cover and then start charging towards the ongoing melee.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be your turn.
Yeah.
It is the bandit's turn. The bandit who's behind Arygo will let out an angry roar as his companion is almost the mostly headed.
It's
So go
basically that scene in Resident Evil 2 when Stella and I played of that first cop we meet with his face just like cleaved apart.
Oh god. I
And
hate
roll to defend at -1.
Okay.
You can do it. Don't get
I don't know
murdered.
why these guys have 15 strong because they don't use it for anything.
Health.
Yeah, that's a good point. Health. Wow, that is so close. Yeah, so he's not able to successfully connect with Arygo.
I think-
They have it specifically to counter hammerhead bolts.
Arygo brings up her greatsword and she does that super dramatic, like, clashing of weapons to defend herself there.
Yeah, she just twists about and catches the spiked club on the blade of her greatsword.
Yeah.
It is Grotto's turn.
Grotto continues slapping away, perhaps almost lazily fighting this time. Maybe someone said something mean to Grotto, and Grotto just really isn't putting her heart into it, but she tries.
Mm-hmm.
Who would say something mean to Grotto?
No, Grotto is clearly phoning this one in.
Yeah, so Grotto misses. Quote unquote raging bear claws.
Look, it's a soft rage.
It is,
It's a baby rage.
It is
Baby
Chorus's turn.
All right. So Chorus is witnessing some spectacular fighting going on over there.
Yeah.
He's a little concerned, and he's gonna just like pop the compartment on his crossbow, take a quick tally of how many bolts he has left, pop it back in, and then take a shot on the remaining bit.
Okay. You connect.
Fun.
Yeah, so the coral kind of sinks into the shoulder of this man, and he's kind of barks out angrily. But he's already sort of doing just a perpetual war cry, so it doesn't sound too different than it did before.
But it was a full round action, and he took damage.
Are you going to deny him a combat action?
Yes, the bolt landed right under his shoulder blade, so he's having trouble lowering his arm right now.
Okay. Arygo, it is your turn.
Okay. She's going to leave.
Yeah. Roll to attack. You are flanking now, so it is +3.
I just imagine Arga's like combat spreadsheet being like a multiple choice question that all just says cleave.
Except for if it's social instead, then it's cleavage.
Or if it's an air combat, in which case it's throw. Cleave.
That's just air cleave, though.
Air cleave.
So Arga's blade does not connect. And we move on to Dati, who has been just kind of running at the combat and has seen a lot of people miss.
Yes.
And one hit land.
Does Dati have time to arrive in? Well, I guess she's not already there, so never mind. If she can arrive in one movement, she will stab away with her dagger.
Yep, she can do that. Wow. All right, confirm the hit.
If you would
Okay,
roll that.
so you got 6 points of damage plus 4 points of damage, and since it was a crit, you may render this person prone or attack again.
Did it break pain threshold?
Let me see here. Yeah, it was 10 total,
Yeah.
and the armor's there. Yeah, it did.
Knock them down and attack again.
Okay. Yeah. So you put this person on the ground, and then you set out to attack them with advantage. Then you do 4 points of damage with the secondary attack, which, let's see. No, he's not done. And it's his turn. And he doesn't have a combat action, and he's prone. Yeah, so he's just kind of gonna spend his whole turn. Well, I guess he has to roll quick to see if he can get up with a move action. Roll 1d20. His quick is 10. So yeah, he spends his turn kind of crawling back up onto his feet.
And
it
ripping
is
the bolt out of his shoulder.
Grotto's turn.
Grotto will just lay into the... Really, this is like the most unfortunate 6 seconds of this man's life.
It is really unfortunate, yes.
I also like that someone renamed the Raging Bear Claws.
You're welcome.
Lazy bear claws.
Yeah, Grotto at the the pinnacle of the most unfortunate 6 seconds of this man's life. Even Grotto manages to land a hit and just smacks him in the side where he's been shot for like a really unpleasant jarring of that arrow.
These are the last 6 seconds of this man's life.
Yeah. It's really death of 1,000 cuts that ends this man.
That describes every opponent that you've fought except the plunderer.
Yeah.
Because most of the numbers I'm looking at are 1 or 2 on this combat. But yeah, so you've killed him.
Okay.
So the last seconds of this guy's life were truly awful. But combat is over. You've prevailed against the Fortune Hunters with a couple scratches and cuts.
Arga looks pretty bad.
Chorus immediately goes to loot.
Okay.
With extra care this time, Chorus. These often go through tombs and find things they ought not have.
His eyes sparkle a bit at that.
Find things we ought not have.
He is very interested now.
So the plunderer has a sack,
Ooh, I touch his sack.
and inside the sack is a bunch of putrid food.
I give it to. I just toss it to Arygo.
Oh, Arga is not paying attention to either of y'all. She's limping away from the battle, using her greatsword as sort of like a walking stick cane. She drops down heavily and she immediately begins like bandaging herself and herbal curing herself.
Okay. So on the other three, the fortune hunters, each of them are going to have a set of dice that you can take.
Ooh, dice.
Each of them also does seem to have some manner of trinket that you may or may not take from each of them at will. The only other possession the three would have would be 3 throwing knives. However, Dati has collected 5 of them already, and the rest are scattered across the battlefield, so you'll have to take quite a bit of time to go find them if you want to, because they have missed.
He is too lazy for that because he already has to go find his own bolts after this.
Mm-hmm.
Dati is going to intently go over the trinkets.
Excuse you, I hadn't finished gathering them yet. But he gathers them into a cloth and then lays them out.
Okay.
What are these trinkets?
Well, do you have Lore Master?
No.
Okay.
What are they?
Trinkets
What are these pretty things?
they just look like Lucky Charms, maybe, or something like that. One of them is just a hare's foot with a leather thong strung through it. So that's very much a lucky charm from what you could say. One of them appears to be some sort of stone disc, but rather than being entirely circular, its edges and notches have been cut, so it's kind of like an intricate, many-pointed star with a glyph of some kind in the center that you don't recognize. And the other is some exceptionally faded and worn stone figurine. It's difficult to see what it represented at one point because it's mostly just its features have been worn away over the years.
Okay. Dati will wrap these up as a whole and set them in her pack for later investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, looks incredibly offended.
Whether or not they're safe and worth using if they're not.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. So that is the combat. Now, yesterday you stopped traveling just halfway through the day, so you kind of have a decision on whether you want to march a little harder and longer than you would ordinarily comfortably travel over the course of a day to finish your travel today / tonight, or if you want to kind of have a half day of travel tomorrow to finish your journey.
Kory looks at Arygo and to see if she's still standing.
She's definitely taking her time applying this herbal cure. She does not look very good. She's bleeding and sweating, pale in the face, but she isn't lying down. You can tell she's...
I think Dati will be calling for a rest.
Okay. Now this particular combat happened in the morning, so your rest will still allow for travel later in the day.
Yeah.
But if you do choose to rest a little bit, you'll just...
A half a day travel tomorrow is the plan.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Dati will push for.
Arygo does not complain.
Okay, yeah, so you take a lax day's travel after taking some time to bandage and rest and recover from the fight. Because there are few fights in Davokar that are entirely trivial. And you're back on your way. You manage to find a camp in the evening. You're back. Dati certainly can feel that you're quite close to the elf camp.
Do we regain 1 stat point?
When you sleep, sure, yeah. But you're going to camp. And you can make your bushcraft rolls as well.
Oh. I guess I'm eating snake today.
Hey.
Look who's not eating snake today.
Okay. Yeah, so Dati and Chorus will have to consume rations, but the other two are able to find their own food. And the night will pass. Go ahead and recover a stat or toughness point.
Hey, full stat gang, let's go.
That is insensitive to people who were clawed up last combat. You coward. All right, yeah. So the new day comes. If you want to use any herbal cures or anything like that, you're welcome to.
Yes. Araga wakes and she's very loud and complains very much as she goes about cleaning her wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Dati is not going to dip into those supplies.
Alrighty. Since
Chorus,
it's go
Chorus
ahead.
walks up to Arygo for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
She does not look up from her application of herbal cure.
You can certainly take more damage than most people I've seen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then he'll give a bit of a sharp-toothed smile and say, at least you can deal it out, too.
She grins at that and she looks up at you and she says,
You might say I've slain a thing or two in my day.
He'll put his hand to his chin with a gesture of perceived wisdom and say, man, if only we had some sort of title for that.
Oh, I'm sure you can come up with one.
A slayer.
Okay, you can go back to looking at dirt. I'm busy.
He'll shrug and say, fine, but just don't get blood on the dirt.
Too late.
Is there just a trail of blood behind us?
probably.
And then Chorus walks off.
Okay. Yeah, once you've sort of taken care of yourselves, in the morning you have a short travel ahead of yourself, so Chorus can go ahead and roll discreet at +2.
Ooh,
to
I can't
safely
wait to fail a
deliver.
+2.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Okay. So the last little bit of travel is uninterrupted, and Chorus really only leads for a somewhat short portion of this trip, maybe an hour, before Dati indicates that she will take the reins, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And Chorus is enough of a tracker that he notices that there aren't many markers that are easily spotted that kind of guide the decisions she makes as to where to turn here and there. Maybe it's from memory. But before long, the three of you and Grotto
You could have just said the four of us.
take a step, and what was, by all accounts, just sort of empty forest suddenly appears not to be. There's a solitary tree ahead. I mean, there are other trees in the area, but this one's distinct in that there's a sort of hut that appears almost grown into the side of it, and there's a very faint dirt trail leading from it into the nearby woods. The four of you approach, but the hut appears to be empty for the moment, and each of you may make a vigilant roll.
At +5.
No, just flat.
I probably have some brain matter in my eye. Yep.
Your eyes are just covered in blood.
Okay. Yeah, so Arygo does not notice this at first. But Dati and Chorus can each spot just a pair of feet dangling from one of the branches up above. And as you look upward, you'll see that there is a pretty rangy figure leaning forward, just resting an elbow on a knee as it stares down to regard the group of you. It appears to be a female elf. She's wearing a mask that's all sort of brown, streaked through with these deep wooden lines. And there are red swirls depicting a character, although Dottie can't read Elvish, I think. So
She cannot.
who knows what it means.
It means a sexy thing.
Means big
Probably not.
sexy.
Probably not.
Big
You
sexy.
guys are incorrigible.
Too bad.
No, I'm
Sigurd's dead.
chorus.
But as you look up to spot the elf, it'll kind of, well, she'll raise her unoccupied hand, give a little wave, and then point at Arygo and kind of tilt its head curiously.
Arygo's looking at the ground because Chorus told her to keep an eye out for things. Buildings mean things might be nearby. And he was looking at the ground, so she's looking at the ground.
Oh my god.
Clever of her. Dottie will draw Arygo's attention
Mm-hmm.
with a couple snaps.
What?
She'll say, "We've arrived," and point upwards.
Arygo looks up.
Yeah,
then
and
she'll
she's
call up to the elf. "We've just finished a task on behalf of Talano.
the elf nods, and after a moment, she'll say, "Talano told me that you'd be coming along this way, although he said Sigra would be along with you. Did she?" She'll just kind of trail off.
In this case, even though the answer is yes, I feel like the more appropriate response is shaking one's head and looking a bit grieved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the point is certainly received by the elf, who gives a little heft of her shoulders and says something. And she'll switch from Elvish to Common now, as her mask sort of shifts to consider first Chorus and then Arygo. And she'll ask, "Are you Dottie's new companions?"
Chorus will answer first and say, less new than the other one, but I'm here for now. He gestures at Arygo when he says the other one.
Oh, okay. That's good clarification.
Arygo gives a thumbs up. It's very
Dottie.
awkward. It's like a gesture, like she doesn't know what to do with her hands.
So it's not like a full arms out thumbs up, it's just like a close to her chest thumbs up.
Yeah, and she like looks at her thumb, looks up at the elf, looks to see what Chorus is doing, looks at what Dottie's doing, then commits to the
Dottie
thumbs up.
will-
No one else is doing a thumbs up right now.
Yeah, no one else at all.
She puts her
Dottie
hand down
will
awkwardly.
Intervene for at least Araga's sake,
Mm-hmm.
gesturing to Chorus. Both of the Biagorns. She'll then look at the actual Biagorn, and add Chorus, pointing to Chorus, had need of shelter and aid, and we gave it. Then we had need of shelter and aid, and Arygo and her matron gave it.
The elf will spryly descend to the ground, and she does it in a very feline sort of way. It's less of a jump down and more like she springs down and then suddenly part of her's hitting the trunk and moving, and she lands nimbly nearby and offers a small inclination of her head to the two barbarians and says, well, you'll be doing good work as long as you're helping Dati. And she'll turn to Dati with that comment. Switching back into Elvish, says, I do have a task for you, but the three of you look as if you've seen better days. Maybe you should take a moment to rest. And before I go, we can go over what you'll need to do next.
Dati will express on behalf of everyone that they will be relieved for a little bit of reprieve. And then add that they can get to business.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And we will pause there. You guys have successfully made it to this safe haven.
Longest set of travel rolls we've ever
it took a really long time. In part because it took forever to kill everything that you guys were fighting. But you did it. And no one even went down.
I have an important question before we end.
Mm-hmm.
Is she cute, though?
DM, is she hot?
No, I said cute.
She cute. Well,
she's got a mask on.
She has a mask on, yeah.
Yeah, but is the mask cute?
Is her butt
No,
cute?
the mask is pretty unnerving.
Ooh, that's kind of cute, though.
Yeah, the mask is definitely unnerving
What about
to look
butt?
at.
You haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, all right.
Kevin's like, end it. We're done.
Alright, thank you, friends.
Yes, very cute.
Ooh.
Ooh. Nice. Araga's looking for a girlfriend.
Alright, we both roll to flirt with the elf.
Okay.
No, we're stopping the session.
Honey.
Not rolling anything.
Aw, shit.
Also cunning.
Freaking clumsy humans and their stupid, clumsy human ways.
Thank you, friends, so much for joining us for today's session of Symbaroum. We're gonna go around and do some shoutouts real quick, and then we're gonna go look for someone to raid. First, we're going to say goodbye to Vertigo Cross. Tell us who you are and what you're about.
Bye.
Also, he's a streamer.
You said to say goodbye.
Get out of here! Go! We don't want you anymore.
Wow.
Go home.
I play video games and stuff.
Awesome. Links in the chat. Next, we
I'm here
have.
on Mondays and Wednesdays. It's very high quality, classy content where you can get amazing outros and intros like this.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, God. Next, we have Obdurant.
Hello, I'm Obdurant. I play Symbaroum here in the evenings. I play Dark Matter here every other Friday, roughly. I used to play Destiny on Thursdays, but right now I work during that time, but I will one day again in the future. That's it.
Excellent, thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Kory.
Hi, yeah. I work in advertising, corporate advertising, specifically for Quiznos.
Oh my fucking God. Alright, that's
and
it. You're done.
I stream my activities of trying to get, connect Quiznos's great deals and subs with. Fuck, I can't continue.
God. Oh my God. I named an imp in our Saltmarsh game. So Kory plays in our Saltmarsh game, which is on Tuesdays. Breakwater is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday nights. And I named an imp Quizrin. And now there's this running joke of like Quiznos and stupid stuff like that. Yeah.
Listen, you can't just. You have some connections and some advertisement deals.
Uh-huh.
And that's just the start of your career as a streamer.
Gotcha.
Like, you can't turn your back on your first big deal.
Hey, are you hungry? Get some Quiznos. Hashtag not sponsored. I'm Stella Luna. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you have enjoyed the content you've seen here and you're new, please consider giving us a follow. That way you get notifications for when we go live. Stella out. Get out of here. Stop! Okay, we're gonna go find someone to raid, and I'm going to do some more shout outs. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your night. Goodbye!